Education Committee meeting for the month of August, the very hot month of August, I might add. Committee, welcome, and need a motion on the approval of the minutes, please.
So moved.
Ms. Cook, thank you.
Second.
Ms. Allen, second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed? And of course, there are none. Community care. We have two experts on community care in the room, at least two. And Commissioner Cook is on the board out there, and the mayor is with us, of course, as he almost always is. And Ms. Cook, we got a report here, and it's in front of you, committee members. Anything to add to this? Are we in good shape? Profit and loss? Seem like we're all right here.
Everything's going fine. Got a good team.
And we will say that we're going to have two or three little construction projects.
Yeah.
They're going to demolish some of the old building that's not being used, and they have received a grant to make most of that possible. So they're going to continue to improve the building for us.
When did you want to go out there?
Spring is normally our time, but just about any time. Remember, we are going to Smyrna to the health department sometime this fall. But
did you want to go before we demolish these buildings, or what?
Whatever
It doesn't make a difference with us.
wishes of the committee. When are we demolishing? I don't know if I've ever said that before.
It'll be a little while.
Okay. After Christmas, will we be in pretty good shape? I think, or no?
I think you just should set your date and work around whatever happens on the work that they're going to do.
I'll ask Mark
Okay.
and see what he
Wants us
says.
to come out in January, February, whatever. Ms. Shelton would like for it to be sunny. Could we meet during the day? She doesn't like to go in. I'm sorry, Ms. Shelton. My apologies. Anything else to add on the report? I entertain a motion to approve the report.
So moved.
Ms. Cook, thank you. Commissioner Soriano seconded. All in favor of approving the community care report, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? Of course, there are none. Ms. Garrett, come on up if you would. And she has a guest with her, and you can come on up and sit with her too. Ms. Riddle says no. She's not coming up here. She was quite adamant about that.
Exactly. Good evening. I have before you the report for the month of July for the health departments at our Murfreesboro and Smyrna site. As you can note, we have an increase in immunizations and well child exams, which is to be expected for this time of year with the back to school rush. Lots of mandated immunizations that children had to get, and physicals for different sports and entry into school and that. So those numbers always spike a little bit in this time of year, and that's what we see, and that's normal for us.
On the back to school
Yes, sir.
things, do they come? I guess there's a lot of places to get those shots. We'll call them shots, for lack of a better word. But were you inundated the last couple of weeks or so? I know we had some children that couldn't enter school. It was state law they couldn't enter.
Right, exactly. We were able to get them in relatively quickly, and we kind of plan for it. We know there's always those people who don't have their shots ready when the deadline comes, so we kind of plan our clinic times around that in both sites. We did some after-hour clinics so parents who were working could bring their kids after hours. So we tried to make it a little bit easier for them, so, and hopefully it helps.
Questions, Scared? Health Department report at all?
Motion to approve the report.
Thank you, Commissioner Jordan. Second? Commissioner Phillips, I believe. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye, please. Aye. Any opposed? And there's none. Ms. Garrett, you do have a guest with you.
Yes, yes. My student from MTSU, community health student, Miss Jasmine Riddle, is here watching us today.
And she is from Memphis, and she's so glad to be here.
Yes, she loves Murfreesboro. We're going to make her a Murfreesboro.
Well, welcome, Ms. Riddle. We're glad to have you with us. Yes, sir. Mayor?
And Ms. Garrett, we're going to be taking bids on the Smyrna addition
Yes, sir.
the 30th of this month.
So that process is moving right along as well for our Smyrna, which seems like a while ago when we talked about that, but the renovation is designed and the bids are out, so we're waiting for that process.
Chairman Jordan mentioned the August and hot August, but flu season is right around the corner.
Yes.
Any expectations there? Is it a different strand or different vaccination, or will we be okay? You be getting in our supply and?
Yes, we'll be getting supply very easily, and there's been no snafus in that system. That normally works fine. It is the same strands that we have seen, so I think it will be fine this year. Just like last year, we had plenty of supply. It met the demand, no problem throughout our community, and I see no reason why it won't happen like that before. In the next few months, I will give you dates and times and that when we'll be trying to do some community events for that, so people will know, and let you know as I find out more information about flu season. I'll be sure to present that to you.
Usually do those vaccinations the first part of October or something like that?
Yeah, we usually shoot for October's when we do our community, and we focus on our Laverne, Smyrna, and Murfreesboro senior citizen centers. We kind of have those are some of our big community outreach events, and then we have open clinic nights and days where people can just come, no appointment, and get their immunization. And once I get all those dates set, I'll be sure to present it to you, so you have it for your constituents and the TV, that people will know.
What's the life expectancy of a shot for flu?
You need one once a year.
Once a year?
For your flu shot.
Okay. I had heard 3 months. I had heard, 6 months, and I didn't know.
Right. One every flu season. The flu season keeps getting larger and larger. August to March, or
Like school.
April. Yeah, so it's pretty much once a year. Yes, yes, that's good. And there is a really high dose flu vaccination that some people get that are in a high risk geriatric. We don't give it in the general population, and so it's a little bit different, and it sometimes can last a little bit longer. But again, it's a specialty vaccine that we wouldn't give to the general public.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Ms. Garrett? Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Ms. Jolly? Ms. Jolly has her usual lengthy report tonight. She's assured me that this may take quite a while.
It's so lengthy this time. I'll tell you exactly what I've done. I've only paid for like 3 different expenditures, and one was architects for Eagle High School and for Stewart's Creek High School, and then we've had some expenditures in the equipment for the security at Central Magnet School, and that's it.
It's been a good time to be on vacation.
Yeah. It didn't take very long to work on this report.
Just so the public knows, we've had about a week to, I got mine on the 18th or 19th, I guess, so we've already looked this over, and really we aren't, as we all know, we're not really building anything particularly right now, so we're in pretty good shape, I guess. And any questions from Ms. Jolly?
We've got some we can almost zero out, can't we? Oakland Middle, Whitworth, and Buchanan.
We've still got some purchase orders.
Yeah, we have 99%, but it's 100% complete.
Anything else, committee members?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. A second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Soriano. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None, and we're in good shape. Thank you, Ms. Jolly, as always. Appreciate it. Mr. Sandy, coming forward, and I know you're going to be extremely disappointed. He has no amendments.
I know.
Can we stand it?
He does have paperwork, however. I think as you glance at that, it might be wise to remember me to tell you that bids were opened on the Eagleville project back on the 16th of this month, and then they were open for Stewart's Creek this afternoon at 2 o'clock. And Mr. Sandvig, and maybe I can be able to add something, but he's absolutely the expert on what took place today. Also, we're not going to take any action tonight because we have no proposal in front of us tonight, and we knew that because there wasn't enough time. Ms. Sandvig, excuse me if I'm stepping on something you were going to say here. They finished about 4:30 going over the Stewart's Creek bids, and so there really wasn't enough time to meet with all the appropriate people and come before us tonight. And there's no hurry. Stewart's Creek is underway. Eagleville, if we get underway the next month or so, we're in good shape. So there was no rush. And okay, Ms. Sandvig,
right.
please.
Well, and again, Mr. Gill wanted me just to give you all a brief update. We'll have a special call board meeting tomorrow at 5, planning to award the bid. It didn't look like there were any issues as we faced with the first time we did this school. Mr. Gill, when came to the decision that we would have to rebid, he did ask Mr. Clardy to make as many changes to the design as we were comfortable with to help free up funding so that we would hopefully be able to proceed with phase 2 of the Eagleville, which is the classroom size, getting those children out of portables. And it looks as though in this initial going over the bids that we pretty well should be able to have within that approved funding money for those projects. So Mr. Clardy's estimate is about $1.75 million of the difference in the bid prices was because of value engineering. And then the other difference, about $567,000, was where contractors were cutting prices.
Lower.
Yeah.
Good.
So.
Can you
we were
explain
pleased.
that term value engineering out of
Just,
me? I don't know what that means.
you look at the things that you can take out of the project or change the specifications on, just trying to come in, lower that bid a bit, because the initial bids that we opened in July, we would have been hard pressed to get phase 2 of Eagleville in with those bids. That by the time we add the architect's fees, the furnishings, the equipment, the technology, those other pieces above and
So,
beyond.
I mean, but you obviously haven't eliminated the things at the bottom, you just tweaked the things?
Tweaked, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So there's still a surface on the track. It's a
Right,
track
right,
surface.
right.
Still required.
Yes.
And a cafeteria.
Yeah. Gonna have a
Still some
cafeteria.
sidewalks on the
Sure. Yeah.
There were, just adding some information here on some other things that we have been discussing at various times. There were 5 bids today. There were 7 the first time. So I believe we have 1 new bidder. I didn't really
I
keep
think
up with
we
that.
did.
1 new one and 2 did not bid.
I attached the old and the new bids and the Eagleville bid sheet, so.
I did talk with Mr. Clardy, who, of course, really was not really prepared to discuss actual available dollars.
Yeah.
But he did say that we were right there as being able to afford the 8 classrooms and the 2 biology labs. He was particularly pleased with that. And he really thought that was going to be a possibility. And, well, a certainty if that's what we wanted to do. And so tell the committee that I would assume the next time after the board meets, they will come before us with a proposal in September as to how to proceed at this point and make a formal request for something. And so I think that's what we can expect in September. But I think the money is there. And I think we have, well, Mr. Tollett and Mr. Guild definitely have agreed on the classroom space and the biology labs they wanted. I think that's pretty certain. And so that's what we'll be doing in September.
Well, and even if we had not wound up having to reject the first set of bids, we would have been doing value added and negotiating with the successful bidder. We can do that on a construction project. And we typically do, after the bids are awarded, we go back and look and see, well, okay, are there things we can tweak, whatever. And we would have been going through the same value engineering process even with, if the first bid had held in place.
So after you're awarded tomorrow, there'll be no more tweaking? We could have done that on the front end, or you're?
No, you
continue
can
to be
still do it
zoned?
on the back end, but I think Mr. Clardy feels we've done about everything we should reasonably do at this point.
Was the low bid this time the same as the low bid last time? Bidder?
Uh,
Bidder?
It was the same bidder who was initially awarded the contract last time. The low bidder had someone, one of its major subs with an expired license, so they were out. There was just, it was more a technicality with the second low bidder to whom the contract was awarded.
The ones who were not allowed to accept it, they bid again though this time, did they not?
It was
One
the
was-
sub, it was
Yeah, they had
that
to get a new
sub, they had to
first,
get a new sub,
But they
yes,
did
sir.
bid again.
Right. Mhm.
But they didn't get the bid.
No.
Second page here, R.G. Anderson and Bison. What is the deduct $10,000 from the base?
That was just a last-minute thing they wrote on their envelope before they turned it in.
I don't know what the base would be then.
The base
Is this,
in their document was $39,994,000,
so,
and they said deduct
Be 84.
$10,000 from that. Yeah,
Yeah,
there was a-
984.
There was a $54,000 difference between the two low bidders. on the
they've done good work.
Pretty close to the
base bid.
$40 million.
Yes,
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
close. Mhm.
They're close.
You might also look, since you're on that page, committee, because even though we were unable to proceed with anything involving the stadiums, unfortunately, the money evidently is not there for that. The bids were in the second bidding today. They were all very similar, and I did not, well, he's got them right here, but as you can see, they were for both stadiums to do what we wanted to do with sidewalks and concession stands and everything. It was somewhere between 1.2 million and 1.3. That very similar to what it was the last time. And a couple of them are even higher than the last time. So I'm disappointed at that, but I don't know how to attack that. I don't know if we can do anything about that right now, anyway. I do think, though, I know where football stadiums and seats and that kind of thing come in the pecking order for classrooms and other needed things for students. I understand that, as you all certainly do. But that's a problem that's going to have to be solved. We're going to have to attack that somehow. And of course, we're part of that process. We're not the entire process, but anyway. Anything else, Mr. Sanding?
That is all.
Are there other questions from Mr. Sanding? And the mayor has his hand up, so, yes, sir.
I want to sort of indicate or refresh this group's here discussion. When we talked about all this, how many dollars we were going to borrow. We talked about borrowing $50 million. And I'm not really clear that the whole $50 million we thought would necessarily be for schoolwork. We're going to need a few million other dollars, maybe $3 to $3.5 million to handle the Joe B. Jackson Parkway, which we are committed and have been committed to do for some years now, and maybe as much as $1 million we possibly might need at the sheriff's office. So what I'm saying is, if we go for the whole $50 million for schools, the commission is going to have to revisit whether they're going to, how many dollars we're going to issue in bonds. It may take another $3 or $4 million. So I think we talked to Ms. Nolan, and we're not quite sure how we communicated or how the resolution was drawn when we sort of made the commitment on $50 million. But I just want to make you aware that we're going to, if we go $50 million for schools, we're going to have some more dollars, $3 or $4 million potentially to fund what we have to fund and are committed to. So we will try to revisit whenever we did all this discussion a year or more ago, to really see what we communicated and how we did that.
The next time, and you all are welcome to respond or discuss this in any way you want to. The next time we meet, we'll know exactly how many dollars the bid, the accepted bid is short or over. And we'll know our figures. We'll know where our dollars are. And we may have some extra money, we may not, and we may want to commit those to schools, or we may not. You heard what the mayor said.
But in any event, if they award this contract tomorrow, basically we're committing to $46.5 million, you know. That much is for sure committed. So that leaves us to decide how you're gonna use your $3.5 million plus some more if you think you really need to do further commitment.
I hesitate to use this figure, but didn't we use the figure for the classrooms, biology labs, 2.8 million, 2.7 million?
The bid came in just under 3 million.
Okay.
For the, yes, we had looked at a slightly lower figure in our projections.
Okay.
But that part of the project, our estimate, again, quick and dirty put together today, was $3,530,000.
Well, I was, obviously, I think we probably, everyone in this room probably would like to have moved ahead today, but really, I think we're better off in the long run here, particularly since Eagleville can be built in 6-7 months, 8 months for, I think, maybe about starting in November. I think we're much better off using these 30 days here before we get back and meet again, and then budget right after that for the school board to meet, talk, Mr. Gill, Principal Tollett, and others, and decide on exactly what they're going to request rather than come in here and make maybe a guess a little bit. And in 30 days, there'll be no guessing where we're going to know exactly. I hope that is the feeling of the committee, but it may not be. Any
Of course,
questions?
it's still gonna come back to this committee. Because
Sir?
you can feel pretty confident the school board is in the school business. They're
Yes.
gonna want the Eagleville thing immediately.
Yes, sir.
And it's gonna come back to this committee, and we're gonna have to decide, you know, or maybe even if this, or the full commission. You know, the mayor's right, we're obligated to Joe B. Jackson and to work at the jail. I mean, that's not something we can back out of at this point in time. So, you know, we're gonna have some hard decisions to make. Maybe just increase the bond size a little bit, or maybe.
Well, you could decide to approve the Eagleville project tonight. That would make us happy.
We'll have a request from the school board.
Well, you could
That'd be
just
quite
offer
premature.
it, knowing you
You know?
can make it happy.
Any other
It
questions?
approves the bid.
Any other questions? Yes, Ms. L.
So the way these numbers are laid out, it would include the construction of just phase 2 in Eaglewood
Yes, ma'am.
and the design of phase 1.
Because we had to go ahead and do design of both pieces
Phases.
in order to go out to bid.
Okay. So we don't have any idea, other than our projections, what phase 1 is going to cost.
Phase 1 was bid, and I don't have a separate figure for it, I'm sorry.
Phase 1 came in under projections, did it not?
Oh, slightly.
They're gonna award. Tomorrow.
And then on that second page we've been looking at, where you
3.8 million.
3.8 phase 1.
But that is before architect's fees, furniture, equipment, other items. That's just the base construction.
Mr. Jordan,
Yes.
can we also ask Mr. Sandy, he may or may not know, what happened here on this $1 million for utilities at Stewart's Creek? I mean, we're already.
We'll have to talk to him.
But we already got.
We'll have to get Mr.
Sewer
Clardy.
access and everything in place there.
And I don't. We'll have to have Mr. Clardy. I can't
Okay.
address that
We need
issue.
that million, we need that flexibility, so. But anyway, I was just reviewing with Lisa where we are, but tomorrow, knowing full well if they award this contract, that we're in for $46.344 million of our $50 million. That is committed when they award that contract, assuming the $1 million utility cost is real.
And I'm confident that it is, I just can't explain that.
I was under the impression all the utilities were in place. I thought we were told that, well, everything's already there, pulled when the other schools were built, and all we had to do was hook up. Just- Maybe we get better clarification on that,
Yes, from Mr. Clardy.
yeah. Hopefully it won't be a tap fee or something like that,
But
impact fee or
they've
something.
already, I believe the town of Smyrna's already agreed that they're gonna waive any fees. I don't think there's gonna be any sewer connect fees or otherwise.
Mr. Sandvig, on the, going down the rest of the alternate bids here at the bottom of that page 2, we've got, alternate 3, 4, 5, and 6. The 6 is gonna be the food service line at Eagleville. All the parking, is that at Eagleville as well?
No, this is just the Stewart's Creek.
That's all
project.
Stewart's Creek?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how are those bids in negatives? How are they in negative figures?
We are planning to accept alternate 6, that change in the equipment. We are planning to leave in the parking and not make those 3 cuts. That was the discussion we had today. But again, these are very preliminary
Right.
numbers and everything else. We'll still be looking at them tomorrow. And we hesitated on how much to bring tonight. So,
Committee, any other questions?
Are they getting a stadium? They are getting a stadium, right?
yes,
And that's included in the base? Is that-
I'm sure there is. Again, I'm bearer of the bid.
Mr. Sandvik, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Any new business? Committee is discussing amongst themselves, lost total control of the meeting. Any further discussion? Well, if not, I hear nothing else, we will see you 4 weeks. If I don't get injured up here, but from tonight, consider us adjourned. Thank you so much, committee.